Docx. Document content translation. The air in the living room seemed to have solidified into a substance, thick and suffocating. Senliu's hand was still frozen mid-air, her fingertips retaining the sensation from moments before when she had clung to Meng Wei. It was a strong, taut, aggressive muscle definition. Thinking about it now, that physique was definitely not something Shentan, an elite who spent all day in the office, could possess. What's wrong, standing there motionless? Shentan's voice carried a hint of confusion. He had finished changing his shoes and casually switched on the living room ceiling light. With a click, bright, white light instantly dispelled the gloom in the entryway, illuminating every detail in the living room. Meng Wei stood by the sofa, a half-finished glass of whiskey in his hand. He wore a deep black silk shirt, the collar slightly open, revealing sharply defined collarbones. The familiar scent of shower gel that had enveloped her earlier now lingered at Senliu's nostrils, transformed into a sharp, dangerous aroma. He didn't seem flustered by the interruption. Instead, he unhurriedly set down his glass. Those deep set eyes looked past Shentan's shoulder, piercing directly into Senliu. The desire that had been in them moments before was gone, replaced by an icy, mocking stare, as if he were watching a clown perform a ridiculous act on stage. Nothing. Senliu quickly adjusted her expression, forcing a saccharine sweet smile onto her face. She turned and threw herself into Shentan's embrace, her fingers tightly gripping his suit jacket. I just got a scare when I came in. Saw a shadow and thought it was a burglar. She was lying. He was betting Shentan hadn't seen what just happened, or she was betting Shentan would believe her. Shentan was momentarily stunned, then chuckled. He reached out and ruffled her hair, an affectionate gesture tinged with a patronizing nonchalance. The house has a top-tier security system. What burglar? He turned to look at Meng Wei, his tone casual. Looks like Brother Wei gave you a fright. Liu, I did introduce you, right? This is my childhood friend, Meng Wei. Mr. Meng. Suddenly peeked out from Shentan's arms, her eyes flickering as she greeted him. Meng Wei responded with a non-committal grunt, not even bothering with a smile. His gaze swept over Senliu's coat, which wasn't fully fastened, revealing a large expanse of pale skin. The disdain in his eyes was practically overflowing. She had seemed accustomed to Meng Wei's attitude and didn't pick up on anything amiss. He just pulled Senliu closer as he walked further in. Why are you still here so late? I was dealing with some documents in the study. Didn't hear anything. Waiting for you. Meng Wei's voice was low and cool. There's a document for you to sign. All right, leave it on the table. I'll look at it tomorrow. Shentan was clearly in a good mood. The unexpected surprise tonight had stirred his interest. It's late. Let me see you out. Meng Wei didn't move. Instead, he picked up his glass and took a sip, his gaze landing on Senliu again. A hint of amusement curled at the corner of his mouth. Shentan, that little wildcat of yours is quite well raised. This sentence was like a needle, precisely piercing Senliu's heart. He had heard everything. All her Okith's endearments, her seductive poses, her very repertoire of darling and good brother. Even more ironic, she thought she was seducing her sugared addie, but in reality, she was throwing herself at her sugared addie's best friend, and almost succeeded. Senliu's face instantly flushed crimson, half with shame, half with anger. Subconsciously, she tightened her grip on Shentan's sleeve, trying to mask her panic. Shentan, however, didn't catch the sarcasm. Instead, he smiled proudly, leaning down to plant a kiss on the top of her head. She's always known exactly how to please me. Meng Wei lowered his eyelids, hiding the turbulent emotions within. He placed his glass heavily on the marble coffee table with a sharp clink. Leaving, he turned and walked towards the door, his back straight but exuding a bone-chilling coldness. Shentan, oblivious, waved. Dodge safe, only after the security door closed, blocking out Meng Wei's figure. Did Senliu feel she could breathe again? Her legs went weak, and she nearly crumpled to the floor, saved only by Shentan's steadying arm. "What's wrong? You look terrible," Shentan asked with some concern. "Nothing. Just got scared." Semu forced a smile. "That Mr. Mangy seems so fierce." "Don't mind him, he's just like that. Keeps to himself." Shenton dismissed it. Then his eyes turned suggestive. "Earlier you said, you missed me?" Senliu's heart sank. She had blurted that out to cover her awkwardness. Now that Shentan's interest was piqued, she had to grit her teeth and continue the act. She nodded, her face flushed, but inside she felt as disgusted as if she'd swallowed a fly. That night, Semu was exceptionally submissive. She knew what Shenton liked, so she curled herself up, snuggling in his arms like a real kitten. Shenton was very satisfied and soon fell into a deep sleep. In the darkness, Semu lay wide awake. Her phone screen glowed faintly under the covers. She opened Meng Wei's social media profile. No posts, a complete blank. Only a 2- status message aesthetic. Semu bit her lip, the images from earlier flooding her mind uncontrollably. Meng Wei's deep, unfathomable eyes in the dark, that explosive physique, and the meaningful look he gave her in the end. That wasn't just simple disgust. It was the kind of the teasing a hunter gives when watching its prey fall into a trap. Early the next morning, Shenton received a call about an urgent matter at the company and hurriedly left the apartment. Semu sat alone in the empty living room, staring at the glass Meng Wei had used the night before on the coffee table. Half a blurred lip print remained on the rim. As if possessed, she picked up the glass, walked to the trash can, and then stopped. Just then, the doorbell rang. Semu jumped, looked through the peephole, and instantly froze. Outside wasn't Shentan, it was Meng Wei. He had changed into a black, casual outfit, holding a file folder. That trademark, impeccable, fake smile was plastered on his face. "Shentan isn't here," Semu said through the door, her voice trembling slightly. "I know." Meng Wei's voice came through the door, carrying a trace of laziness. "I'm here for you." "Miss Sen." Senliu's fingers gripped the doorknob tightly. "For me? Had to leave in a hurry last night. Left something here." Meng Wei's voice wasn't loud, but it clearly reached her ears. "Shentan's old lighter. He said it was a love token you gave him. He'll never let me hear the end of it if I don't get it back." Senliu's mind went completely blank. That lighter was no love token. It was a cheap trinket she bought specifically to build her deeply devoted persona, which Shenton casually tossed in a drawer and never gave a second thought. How did Meng Wei know? And why was he using that as an excuse to see her? "Open the door." Meng Wei's tone gained an undeniable command. Suddenly took a deep breath, her hands trembling as she opened the door. The moment the door opened, Meng Wei sidestepped in. He was tall, bringing an immediate sense of that forced Senliu back against the wall in the entryway. "Mr. Meng." Senliu's words were cut off as Meng Wei interrupted her. He didn't advance further, just looked down at her from his height. He slowly took the file folder from his pocket and hurriedly opened it. "Senliu, 20-6, from Zhong Changchun. Left a modeling agency 3 years ago. Met Shenton 2 months ago through a friend's introduction." Meng Wei recited as he pulled a photo from the folder. In the photo, Senliu stood outside a luxury store, holding numerous shopping bags. A greedy smile on her face. "You investigated me?" Senliu's face turned deathly pale. "Relax." Meng Wei casually tossed the photo at her feet, a cold smirk curling his lips. "I'm just helping you. After all, if your past deeds were to reach Shentan or his particular mother, do you think you could still stay in this apartment?" Tenu trembled all over. That was her most feared secret. In the past, for money, she'd had ambiguous relationships with several wealthy businessmen. If those photos were exposed, her comfortable life with Shenton would be over for good. "What do you want?" she asked through gritted teeth. Meng Wei leaned in slightly, his warm breath brushing against her neck, gazing goosebumps all over her. "Don't want anything." His voice was low and dangerous. "Just thought last night's game isn't over yet. He straightened up, shoved the file folder into Sen Liu's arms. The amusement in his eyes turned into blatant aggression. This is your hand, and it's mine. Meng Wei turned and walked to the door. He paused as he opened it. Looking back at her, 7 tonight. I'll be at the old place. If you don't come, this file will be on Shen An's desk. The door closed. Sen Yu collapsed to the floor, the heavy file folder clutched in her arms. She opened it. Inside was her entire sordid history from the past 3 years. Even her true motive for being with Shenton for money and status was spelled out clearly. This wasn't a threat. This was blackmail. And that lofty Meng Wei had become a nightmare she couldn't escape. Her phone suddenly vibrated. A WeChat message from Shenton: business dinner tonight. Won't be back for dinner. Be a good girl and wait for me at home, you. Sally looked at the screen, tears streaming uncontrollably down her face. She thought she had caught her sugar daddy. Little did she know, she had fallen into a much bigger trap.